Thank you all for joining me today. My name is Evan Schachtel, and I am the Chief of the Washington Fire Department. I've asked you all here today so I can address a number of items, as well as some of the actions my firefighters took related to the recent train derailment near the Washington River. However, before I do that, I'd like to assure everyone that the men and women who make up the Washington Fire Department work tirelessly each and every day to provide the best possible service to the community at large. They willingly put their lives on the line to protect the residents of the Washington Valley and work tirelessly no matter how difficult the task may seem. Similarly, they often have to make difficult life and death decisions on the spot without the luxury of debating the various pros and cons. Unfortunately, sometimes those decisions have unintended consequences. But I can assure you that no member of this fire department would ever, willingly or knowingly, endanger anyone or anything. As Chief of the Washington Fire Department, one of my highest priorities has always been firefighter safety. Along with that, I have fought tooth and nail to increase our funding so that I could add additional manpower to each firefighting suppression vehicle. I have sought out numerous grants that would allow me to increase my staffing to a National Fire Protection Association recommended number of 4 firefighters per vehicle. Unfortunately, I've been unable to secure the necessary funding to implement these needed changes. Now, this increase in staffing, which I continue to work towards, would allow us to work faster and more efficiently when fighting a fire or mitigating an emergency. Additionally, it would reduce the demand on our neighboring departments, lessening the burden on automatic and mutual aid responses. Now, sometimes out of despair comes enlightenment. I ask again for the additional funding needed to properly staff my vehicles so that I can sufficiently and properly protect the residents of the Washington Valley. The Washington Fire Department has also seen a dramatic uptick in the number of hazmat responses throughout the last several years. Recognizing this trend, we have implemented additional hazmat training and have taken steps to align the department with OSHA regulations for hazmat responses. However, OSHA requires a minimum of 4 people to respond to an unknown or potentially dangerous environment. Due to our staffing limitations, our initial arriving fire engine only had 2 firefighters at the time of the train derailment. Those 2 firefighters, despite not having completed their OSHA training, risked their lives to try to stabilize the incident and protect those that they deemed to be in harm's way. Riley describes one of the benefits of hazmat training to be much more than a simple increase in knowledge. They describe a change in attitude and an increased confidence that often leads workers to take action that they may not otherwise have taken. I believe these 2 firefighters exhibited those very traits, and they took action despite not being hazmat subject matter experts. As I said, at the time of the train derailment, our firefighters had not yet completed their hazmat training. They entered the hot zone, which is the most dangerous area of a hazmat incident, without the proper personal protective equipment. However, they did so because they were trying to save lives. They knew the space between the spill and nursing home was extremely limited, and they took action to safeguard those residents. They donned their protective firefighting gear, which they have done countless times, and they channeled the hazardous material away from that nursing home. Routing that material away from the nursing home did have unintended consequences. The firefighters never meant to harm or kill any wildlife, but they had to make a decision. They had to decide between the lives of the residents in that nursing home or a potential environmental mishap. I support the decision they made, and I am proud of the actions they took. This incident has reinforced the need for proper training, proper equipment, and sufficient manpower. When any one of those items is removed, it limits our ability to protect the community. Please help us help you by securing our funding so that we may continue to provide the type of emergency response that the residents of the Washington Valley deserve. Lastly, I plan to foster an environment of increased transparency. Therefore, I will be attending monthly board meetings and all town hall sessions so that I can answer any questions about the department and about my vision for the future. I would like to thank everyone for their time today, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have about the Washington Fire Department, the train derailment, or the actions my firefighters took on that day. Thank you all very much for your time.